I must be honest that there are a lot of things that majority of us take them for granted when we are getting prepared for our visa interviews. Whether it's going to be an in-person interview or a document proving one, there are a number of things that we take for granted, and I just want to draw our attention to these things, which I've categorized into three classifications. So today, that's what I will be addressing with you in this episode. If you're new to the family, you know how we do it, right? I want you to just click on the subscribe button. Let's get the conversation started now. And I have segmented them into three folds. You know, when you are getting prepared for your visa interview, there are a number of things that come into mind. Getting people's opinion on the things that you want to do, but there are these key things that I think that you need to pay much attention to. So as I indicated earlier on, three things that I have put together for you, but they encompass a number of things, and we're going to have a conversation on that pretty much soon. Now let us start off from getting prepared. Now getting prepared would encompass a number of things, because getting prepared will start off from you knowing the type of visa that you are even going into. There are a number of people who go into the visa interview and the interviewer tells them that maybe, well, you're right with every document that you have, but the visa category that you're applying for, it's wrong, so you need to go and reapply. So in this case, it tells you that the person might understand and might be going in for a genuine reason, but because they missed out on the category of visa that they are going on for, they may have made a mistake in that, and that will go a long way to affect you, because it means you need to start the processes again. So this is one of the things that you need to look out for when you're getting prepared, because if you are a student and you want to study in the US, you cannot go in for a B1, B2 visa. That is wrong. You need to go in for an F1 visa. So know the category of visa that you need, and that is part or forms part of the preparations that you would need to make even before you go in for your visa interview. Also, having a grip of every single detail that you put into your DS-160 is very important. There are a number of people who seek third-party help, maybe because they cannot read and write or they need assistance. That is understandable, but because you will be going in for the interview yourself, you need to have an understanding of every single detail that you put in, because you know the DS-160 is more like a brief summary of everything that you are telling the US government. So your personal information, the person that you'll be reaching out to when you get to the US, the reason for your travel, amongst other details. So if someone helps you out, you still need to be abreast of every single thing that they put in, because if you tell the interviewer a wrong answer, or tell the person something different from what is written in your DS-160, obviously means you're telling lies. It could be that maybe the one who helped you out made a mistake, but that would not be their case, because for them, they believe that you should know everything that goes into your DS-160, and also have a fair idea of it, so that when you come and you ask the questions, you will be able to answer. And trust me, when you go for your interview, one of the things is that you are mostly asked about details of your DS-160. It's more like a confirmation that they want to do. So if you tell them different things or things contrary to every single thing that you have in your DS-160, that is problematic. So you need to know that. Also, the preparation or the preparatory stage would also include you getting to know some sample questions, like watching videos like what I'm doing here, and watching other people with their experiences and all of that. Because when we say sample questions, this might not necessarily be the questions that you'll be asked exactly when you go for your interviews, but it gives you a fair idea of how to answer some of the questions, even even if you think you are vocal enough and all of that, I mean, it guides you and all of that. So getting to read and research on every single detail or every single thing on your travel process is very important. So this will form part of your preparatory stages, and you need to pay attention to that. Another key thing is with regard to the documents that you go in on that very day for your interview. And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking it's just the supporting documents. Well, that's important. However, the documents that you need to present to the US Embassy also is very important. You know that when you book your interview, they tell you some of the documents that you need to come with. Your passport, you need to come with the front page of your confirmation for your interview, and also the confirmation of your DS-160. If you do not go in with all of these things and you go with just your supporting documents, obviously you would not even be allowed entry, and this will mean you need to restart the whole process again. And I've had friends tell me that they've gone for their interview on that very fateful day, and they get there and they're not even allowed to go into the interview hall just because they forgot to bring the confirmation of their DS-160 or their visa interview. So it's very important. And also the documents that will support your processes or your visa acquisition cannot be left unattended to. I always tell people that how much is too much? How much is too much in the sense that some people will say, oh, you do not need a lot of documents. I think that if you have the documents available, just go in there with it. If you go and you were told that, well, it is not needed, you can take these documents back. It is better to go in with a lot of documents and not be used than to go in with insufficient documents and you're asked and you tell them that you thought it wasn't important to come in with, you know. So if you have enough documents, just go in with it. Just get your file ready, know where you've placed it, so that once you're asked, you can deliver on the spot. So getting your documents in check is also part of you being prepared for your visa interview on that fateful day. Another important thing is looking the part. Looking the part basically talks about the outfit that you go in with when you have to either present just your documents for some countries like Canada and the UK and some other countries, or for you to present yourself for an in-house interview. So if, for instance, if you're going in for the US visa and you need to present yourself there, how do you look? I say look the part. Look the part necessarily means looking good on that very day. Some people will ask you that question and say that, oh, what do you mean by looking the part? How well should I get dressed? Is it an official interview? Well, yes, it's someone's office, you know, so at least you want to look a little bit official. It doesn't mean that if you wear a t-shirt, you might be denied just because you're wearing a t-shirt. It might not play a critical look key part of it, but you know, once you look good, people tend to address you well, and this is something we see in our society. If you look good, if you wear nice outfit, I mean presentable outfits, people tend to address you well. So I think that just look the part. If you're in a security service or any kind of agency in your country, maybe you can wear the outfit. If not, and your job does not require a specific outfit, maybe you can look a little bit formal just to show respect to the interviewer. That's basically it. So, well, I wouldn't want to argue on the fact that, some people say I wore a t-shirt, I wore maybe a tank top, and I still had my visa. It is possible, but I mean, just respect the person that you're going in for. Because if you have an official interview for maybe a work or a job, I'm sure you would want to look the part, you know. Now, let's assume that you've done all these things, you have your documents ready, you are looking the part, you've dressed well, and you are getting to the interview hall. What are you going to do? I know it comes with some sort of fright because, you know, you're thinking of what to go and say. Would I even be accepted? Would I be denied? Would I be given the visa and all of that? At this point, you need to gather some confidence. And this, you can underline it, and I can bet everything on it that there are people who even go into the interviews and they might not even merit the visa, but because of the kind of confidence that they put out, they are given the visas. Because see, it's just a believability job that you're going to do, in a sense that you need to let me believe. It's like convincing your partner to trust in you, to want to be with you, and all of that. If you do not put on some sort of confidence, the person cannot accept and say that, okay, well, yes, I want to be convinced in and buy whatever you're telling me, because there are a number of people going in for the visa, and everyone merits it in one way or the other. Everyone will tell you, I deserve to have that visa to travel, because they have good reasons and genuine reasons that they want to travel. But if you do not have that confidence, that can go a long way to harm your application. And for me, I'll tell you, even if you are as frightened as a rat, all you need to do is to just put on some sort of behavior on that very day. Tell yourself positive things. Tell yourself you can do it. Tell yourself, this is just a basic thing that I'm going to answer. If they ask you questions and you do not understand them, you should be able to ask them to expatiate. Oh, is it possible to break it down for me? They are always available to do that for you. But if you are so scared and when you ask the question, you go blank and you're not able to answer, they are not in your head to believe everything that you're telling them, or for them to even know that truly you deserve this visa. So the confidence aspect cannot be underestimated. You can't write that off. Please have that confidence on. You can practice as long as you want. You can practice like 2-3 months. I have people who practice because they get their interview dates very early, and so they can practice like 2-3 months ahead of time, that even when you wake them up and you ask them questions, they can answer you. And even after their interviews, they still have everything ringing in their heads, and that's because they put in that effort. So all these things that I've made mention of, please make it a critical part of your journey if you want to get your visa approved. I hope this is going to go a long way to help you out there, and so please share with people that they are preparing for their visa interviews and will be of much importance to them. Thank you so much again. And as you know, I am not an officer at the embassy, neither am I an expert. I'm just sharing my opinions with you and my experiences with you. Thank you, and I'll see you again.